March, the dead cold of winter. Each day a cheerless cloud darkened the sky as the powerful north wind roared across the woodland like a huge lion with razor-sharp icicle teeth. Ever since the first snowflakes of winter first drifted down in November past, north wind could not be stopped. All winter long, the wind ripped a frozen path through the woods, slamming this way and that, leaving crusty layers of ice and snow in its wake. Trees that once stood tall, with branches full of colorful autumn leaves, now hung low with sharp, glassy icicles. Streams and brooks that once bubbled and foamed were frozen into solid ribbons of ice. Woodland animals that once scampered in the warm autumn sun now huddled together in the stone-cold ground to escape the wind's force. Flowers that once swayed in the autumn air now lay quiet and bent beneath the silent weight of the frosty snow. Even the children, who in November had dangled tongues and mittens in the air, trying to catch the first snowflakes of winter, now lowered their heads and squinted against the icy gusts that bit into their faces. By mid-March, north wind thought it time to swirl about and survey its work. It licked its icy lips and smiled a frosty smile as it glared at the frozen land. North wind knew it had helped to freeze the woods over, and it felt quite powerful indeed. All the woodland plants and animals, and even the children who played there, were about ready to give up hope that the spring thaw would ever arrive. And then, at the end of March, just when the whole world, including all the hope and promise, seemed to be forever frozen still and lifeless, a tiny springtime surprise popped up. The trees stretched over to see it. The frozen water melted over to nibble at it. The woodland animals scurried over to hear it. The children bent near to smell it. And together everyone was feeling the same sense of wonder. For a velvety crocus flower, the very first flower of springtime, had managed to push its fresh, flowery face up through the sparkly snow. Everyone began shouting, "Hooray!" That is, until North Wind spotted the tiny bud, drew in its breath, bent down dangerously close to the fledgling flower, and tried blowing a blustery wind against the delicate petals. But much to North Wind's surprise, all that came out was a whisper-soft spring breeze, warm and gentle as a baby lamb's breath. The breeze touched the bud's petals and swirled up to nudge away the dark winter clouds that hung above. Suddenly, the woods were bathed in sunlight. The new bud turned its petal face toward the light. Meanwhile, more and more flower buds began popping up everywhere. Snow and ice melted into liquid streams and brooks. Animals hopped out of their hiding places to stretch and scamper at last. Icicles on the trees melted, leaving tiny leaf buds on the tree branches. Children peeled off their winter hats, coats, and mittens so they could run and play spring games. By the time March turned into April, woodland was dancing around to celebrate the new spring season, especially the lamb-like spring breeze that once blown fierce as a lion in winter. Starring as the cloud, Adam. Starring as the snowflakes, Kira and Kaylee. Starring as the trees, Paige and Patrick.
This is Patrick.
Starring as the stream, Madison. Starring as the bunnies, Elsa, Rocco, and Cameron. Starring as the chipmunks, Quentin and Abib. Starring as the flower, Marcella. Starring as the children, Maddie and Jack. Starring as the crocus flower, Annie. Starring as the sun, Viola. Starring as the lion and lamb, Frankie and Nasa. Boys and girls, don't take your masks off in case anybody wants to take a picture, either of you or you, the director. You're welcome. And when you're all done with that, then we'll take your mask because I need it for next year.
What about the whole group?
Oh, the whole group out. I'm so sorry. Woo!